So with Anthony Gordon off to Barcelona and it being confirmed by Barcelona now that he is a Barcelona player, of course, who will Newcastle United be looking to bring in as the replacement for Anthony Gordon heading into this brand new season? And of course, remember, we've got the World Cup coming up in June, and looking at the players that we're being linked with right now, we're being linked with the likes of Antonio Nusa, we're being linked with the likes of Abadi, it's Real Beres, we're being linked with, Silvinho at Man City. There's just names flying all over the place. So it is pretty hard at the moment to try and figure out which of these names are legit and which are just being flung in there with our name on them, like we've seen in many other transfer windows since the Saudis came in as our owners. And that's something that we're always going to have to deal with going forward now, that, agents are always going to use our name as a way to get a little bit extra money in the coffers for themselves and for their clients as well. And looking at it, however, some of the names that are being linked to it, the likes of Antonio Nusa, Silvinho, Abadi, it's of course Real Beres. And then you've got the other names like Yuan Jawan, of course, from France, who has agreed, according to reports from Mark Douglas. He has seen that Juan has already agreed a deal with Newcastle United. 20-year-old goalkeeper from Reims has already agreed a deal, and according to reports as well from Mark Douglas again, he's seen that Newcastle have held talks with Monaco over a move for the 22-year-old Senegal midfielder Lamine Camara. Of course, two brilliant players, and would massively boost the club going forward. Kamara, of course, midfielder, somewhere that we need to boost for depth-wise. Goalkeeping, of course, for Juan, we need, of course, a new goalkeeping approach, with Nicky Pope having an absolutely dreadful season last season. It looks like Aaron Ramsdale's not going to be acquired by Newcastle United neither. So it looks like we're going to need to be going out there and signing a new goalkeeper for this new season, be it a number one or a backup. But I think we're probably going to go down the route of a backup and a number one. And I think Nicky Pope is going to be moving on in this window. I think he will move away from Newcastle United. I just don't see being a Newcastle United player come the start of next season, because the way he played in that season just gone, he is nowhere near the level of the goalkeeper that he was when he first came through the doors at Newcastle United. And since he's gotten that second shoulder injury, he's looking very scared between the sticks. He just looks like he doesn't want to commit to saving the balls, and that isn't what you want when you've got a goalkeeper. Your goalkeeper's got to be fearless, and unfortunately, since Nicky Pope's picked up that second shoulder injury, he doesn't look all that fearless in the goal. He looks very scared when it comes to having to save. But he has pulled off some decent saves this season, don't get us wrong. Nicky Pope's pulled off some brilliant saves this season when he has tried, but a lot of the time you can see he is very scared to make the crazy jumps like he used to do in the goal forward. So I think we will see Nicky Pope move on, and if the reports from Mark Douglas are to be true, that we have agreed a deal, and of course Juan has agreed a deal with us, then that is a really good piece of business, bringing in 20-year-old Reims goalkeeper. I think he's about 6 foot odd as well, over 6'5", I think, if I remember rightly. But brilliant piece of business that is, and bringing in a player like that is only going to be good news for us going forward. And yes, he is. He's about 6'6", 6'7", so that's pretty big goalkeeper. Going in between the sticks, even if he is maybe only a backup. But we'll have to wait and see, of course, on what he actually is going forward. But some of the players that are being linked to it, you know, I would really like to see Matthias Fernandez Pardo come in. I think, you know, he would be a really good really good player forward going forward. He's a technical winger, so I think he would do some really good stuff forward. Something that we need as well in the team. We don't have a lot of technical players in the team, and that's something that we're seeing last season. Just gone there, you know. We need technical players. We need to at times be able to play a more technical approach to a game rather than, you know, just hitting the Route 1 football over the top and allowing the speedsters to run onto it. And there's news as well coming out from some rumours that Nottingham Forest are actually interested in Anthony Elanga. They're inquiring about Anthony Elanga, according to rumours, of course. So do take it with a pinch of salt. I haven't seen, you know, anybody like Romano or Ornstein or that commenting on it just yet. But when they do, I'm going to be all over that, obviously, in talking about it on the channel, because I think Anthony Elanga, unfortunately, he hasn't really hit the ground running. I would still like to maybe see him get another chance once he's had a chance to train under our way. The same for Johan Wissa. I think he deserves a chance to train under our way before, you know, we make a final judgment on these lads, because we have put a massive chunk of budget on them at 55 million each last summer, you know. So I would expect, you know, Eddie to give them a bit of a chance. I'd expect, hopefully, you know, the fan base to give them a chance as well. I think if we could see Anthony Elanga doing what he did before he joined with, you know, when he was at Nottingham Forest and he had that brilliant season, if he could do that for this season coming, you know, then that would be absolutely amazing, because that's the kind of thing that we need. You know, we need players that will be able to do that. And I think we will probably see the likes of maybe Jacob Murphy moving on in this window as well. You know, just a whole bunch of players moving out, players moving in, a massive rebuild coming up. And like I say, a lot of the players that were being linked with, they're all really, really good names. Antonio Nusa, Fernandez, Pardo, you know, they're just all really good players. Silvino at Man City as well. Any of these players we're saying, you know, are going to massively boost the team going forward. And I do like the approach that Ross Wilson and Suds and the transfer team are doing. You know, I do like the approach that they are looking at bringing in a younger demographic of player, and I like how fast the deals are being done as well for players going out of the club. Hopefully we'll see a little bit more on the players coming into the club soon, but I like that, you know, the deal for Anthony Gordon was done in, you know, the blink of an eye. It hasn't been dragged out, it hasn't been harped over for a long period of time. It's just straight away, let's do the business, let's get this player moved on, let's focus on the next deal, you know. And that is what we need to be doing. We need to be moving fast, we need to be moving quick, because there's a lot to do this summer for the rebuild going forward, because we don't want a repeat of what we're seeing last summer with that whole Isak situation. Thankfully we haven't seen that this summer with the Anthony Gordon deal. It's just immediate, bang, done. Barcelona has interest, Barcelona has offered, Barcelona has agreed to deal, and Anthony Gordon's now a Barcelona player. And that is exactly the way we want to see it happen on outgoings and incomings into the club. But anyway, let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Till next time, remember, hit like, share, subscribe to the channel. And out of the names that have been linked to us so far, of course, if you're keeping an eye up on them, who out of them players would you take? And say, you know, we'll have a 450 million budget. Would you trust Eddie Howe with that budget? Or would you, you know, rather another manager come in to, you know, manage the players that Ross Wilson and the transfer team will be looking to bring in this window? Now, bear in mind, 400 million is just a figure that I've pulled off the top of my head. It's not an official figure or anything like that. It's just a figure that I've pulled off the top of my head. Say 400 million to spend in this window. Who would you be going out there and getting? let us know down in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next one. How are the lads?